Welcome back.
Happy Life Results book reading group with the author, Stacey McPherson.
Hello guys, welcome. All right, we're in a we're in a stage called section. Just kidding. Let's start this one over.
oh, really?
Oh, no.
No.
Yeah. No. Keep it. Keep it. Okay. Tips for the hero stage. Stage 3, the hero. We're on number 4 through number 6. How'd that sound?
Perfect. Couldn't be better.
Okay, you read 4 and 5.
Write down anything you come up with that will aid you in integrating and applying the guide's teachings. So these are all tips. We gave 3 yesterday. So continuing forward, there will be many questions in the hero section. Some may do nothing for you, but others will open a floodgate of thoughts. Ignore the ones that do nothing for you now and give your mind free rein on the others. So she's just suggesting that you approach it flexibly. Is that a way to say that? Flexibly, and really dive into the ones that spur you. And if it does nothing for you whatsoever, don't spin your wheels too long on it, because there will be other questions that will get you going.
But feel free, number 6, but feel free to take notes whenever you feel it will be helpful. When specifically directed, write down something, even if the reason is not yet apparent.
And for the Facebook group, that's if she puts something in orange, write something. Just write something down, even if it's just whatever you're thinking. Like, oh, I don't know how to answer this question. That's an answer.
That's an answer.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if any of this seems confusing on the first pass, that's not a problem. It will make more sense as we go. I'll continue to give you my best support all along the way, and I encourage you to connect with me and let me know how it's going.
If you do have another person or a group of people, you can take turns working together on this. I think that's wonderful. If you do, I suggest everyone go through the guide stage first, then be sure you reach the hero stage. Oh yeah, you can do this part. Right?
Okay, then be sure as you reach the hero stage that you each take turns being the guide and accountability partner for someone else. Help the other hero clarify and follow through on implementation of the concepts. Enough explaining, let's go already.
All right, so those are all the tips, right, to the hero stage?
Yes, and I wanted to say that in the original edition, the first edition, we had this all at the beginning because we felt like it was so helpful for someone to get all of these tips, because it's not just tips for the hero, it's tips for the guide, it's tips for anyone who's learning a new process, a new system. It's really helpful, but that being said, we put it at the end because it was overwhelming. It was a lot to go into before we even got into the concepts. So instead we shifted it so that you get into the concepts, you get the theory, and then when we're ready to apply it, that's when we gave you all of these tips for the hero. So that's what we just went through, talking about the subconscious and conscious and the partnership. We talked about so much, like the language learning analogy, and I won't give you a full summary,
Okay.
But it was a lot, right? It was a lot of really good stuff. And these concepts, they're not our 9 concepts, but they're concepts in addition to the 9 that will help you with your language. It will help you with the whole process of learning. So they're really, really helpful. And so I wanted to say, yes, I'll continue to give you my best support. So take advantage of that. Like, I am here for you, so take advantage of that. Share as much as possible from your heart, wherever it's from, just like we're trying to do from the videos. Do that back to the group. Share and give your experiences wherever you're at on the journey. And then if you do have someone to go through it in person, like someone to sit by and do it.
Yeah,
or
some people are doing that as couples.
Yeah. Or connect in the group. Find people in the group that you see that are on their journey, and just reach out to them and say, hey, I see you're on the same journey I'm on. Would you be willing to support? We could go back and forth and support each other. And so just take advantage of the community that we're creating for this purpose. Yeah. So and then I thought it was funny when I went through, you know how I love to go through and ask my questions. When I asked my questions, I was like, wait, I'm saying ignore some? Wait, I'm saying write down even if the reason isn't apparent? Those two seem contradictory. But it's like, you know you. So like, do as much as you can to be able to get the full experience. But then also, if you're finding yourself using pain points to get through it, or if it's just confusing, realize that if you go ahead and skip something, that you can come back to it. It will make sense later. And then I say, if all of this seems confusing on the first pass, that's not a problem. And one of my questions was, why is that not a problem? It shouldn't be confusing. Why is that not a problem? But it isn't a problem, because what happens when things are confusing, it means that you are shifting internal lenses, or at least you're becoming aware that there are internal lenses that don't match up. That's not exactly, I'm kind of using lens loosely there, but just saying there are internal concepts, internal, like, what do we call it? Just like internal contexts. Yes, sorry. Internal contexts that aren't making sense because you haven't yet reworked how you view things. And this is exciting. So actually, when it's confusing, it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's only a bad thing if you use the confusion to make it so that you stop.
I was just thinking back to the C-spot run. If you start talking about what button you push on spot and that kind of stuff, then that would be confusing at first if I already thought spot was a dog.
Yeah.
Like, spot has buttons, spot has dials, you know. Like, that's kind of what can happen if you come across a concept or in here that you're like, okay, well, yeah, but this is what makes me happy and this is what makes me sad, and I cannot be happy in this context, and if I lose this, then it's gonna, you know, that kind of thing. That to hear the joystick concept is a different context than that. It's and so it could be confusing.
Yes, so it's when in that moment of confusion, there's an opportunity to go forward into it, to like say, I don't understand, let's go forward into it. And or there's the crossroads where you could, instead of going forward into it, you could just stop, or you could that overwhelm could be a thing, like, oh, I have to take a step back. I can't go forward into that. And that's kind of why we use the cliff analogy. Like, if you're standing on the edge of the cliff, where do I go from here? Like, what? It's like this, exciting, but it's also scary. It's new, it's different. And it could be there. You could actually kind of, so you can go forward into that, what's going to happen, and just push forward into it. And you can also take breaks and take pauses and try to figure it out and get realigned and be like, okay, it's all right, it's not too much, I can do this, you know, give yourself some space. But one of the things that I just want to express here is that whatever direction you take, get practice with observing that overwhelm as what it is. Try to see it as what it is. It's these new ideas shifting in your head. And that's something to get excited about. Because if there's no shifting going on, it's just, okay, turn the page.
I know this.
Yeah, nothing new. Then you won't have that internal shift. So it is actually not only not a problem if it's confusing, it's okay, it's good. Yeah, so, or I guess if it's not confusing, it could be that you already live this way. You already use up as your system instead of the traditional system, which if that's you, please reach out to me. I would love to meet you. I would love to meet you. I would love to share that, you know, commonality. So thank you so much. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.